Do you know the story of Britain's last witch, who was imprisoned under the Witchcraft Act only 81 years ago? Helen Duncan was a spiritualist from Scotland, so she travels across Britain in the early 1900s giving seances, where she produces this mysterious cloud-like substance called ectoplasm from her mouth that takes the form of dead people who speak to their living relatives. Now, during the two world wars, seances are all the rage because so many people have dead friends and relatives they wish they could speak to just one last time. Now, these are the words of one man who visits her. "For the first time since I was 2 years old, I was totally speechless. My mother had been dead then for only 6 months, and she looked exactly as she did before her last illness." Now, Helen's abilities are the talk of the town in London. Her granddaughter claims Helen even did seances with Winston Churchill. But then, in 1941, during the Second World War, she's sitting with a man called Brigadier Firebrace, the head of Scottish intelligence. As Helen goes into a trance, the ectoplasm takes the shape of a soldier, who reveals that a British battleship has just been sunk. Firebrace is shocked because he's heard nothing about this, and he's a spy chief. So he runs outside and calls the Admiralty, who confirm that one of Britain's greatest ships, the HMS Hood, has just been sunk by German U-boats. Then, months later, Helen repeats the trick, summoning another soldier whose ship has sunk. This time, information about the sinking is classified because Britain's high command doesn't want to damage national morale. So how did she know? Well, that's exactly what the authorities are wondering. The following year, in 1944, Britain is planning D-Day, the top-secret mission to drive the Nazis out of France once and for all. And in the paranoid atmosphere of war, they're supposedly terrified of Helen spilling their biggest secret. What if she reveals the D-Day plans, and a German with a funny moustache happens to be listening in? So Helen is arrested and convicted under the Witchcraft Act of 1735, which hadn't been used for over a century. Helen spends 9 months in prison, and the police continue to raid her seances until her death in 1956. And even today, her relatives are campaigning to have her pardoned. Follow me on all your socials for more stories from history.